system in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same 1%? Try to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How the fuck are you guys tonight on this Friday, January 22nd of the year that has been 2021? Whew. We're about a month in. Things kind of start to seem to be calming down. But I'm not getting my hopes up because things you can't trust this world anymore. It's not even the country anymore. I mean, shit's happening up in Canada. There's like some sex scandal with their like governor general. I don't even know what's going on there. And then shit here, and there's just everything everywhere. So you know what? We try to keep it lax here. We try to keep it light and funny, and try to at least. But then sometimes we take wild right turns and crazy shit happens too. But hey, that's what happens. It's live. Oh well. And tonight doesn't get any different, because tonight I have a lead singer of a band that's been around since I was in high school. For 25 fucking years, these guys have been rocking your ear holes, and they're not about to let down their stamina anytime soon. The lead singer's been quoted as saying, "Listen, here's to another 25 more, so let's see what else happens," because they got some new stuff coming out, which, by the way, sounds fantastic. I was rocking out to it for the last couple of days, and it just, whoo, fantastic stuff. So we'll talk about that and more with the lead singer of Five Finger Frenzy, Reese.
What's up, man?
What's going on, brother?
How are you?
You know what? I can't complain.
Yeah, I want to see that shirt you're wearing because I'm a huge Marvel fan, and all I can read is the top of the comic.
Oh, buddy, it's an Avengers shirt. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, my entire wardrobe is nothing but Marvel shirts. I am a huge Marvel nerd. Actually, right before I came down here to get everything set up for the show, I was watching episode 3 of WandaVision.
Well, I just watched it too. I guess Spider-Man and Cap.
Nice. Yeah, my left arm is gonna be filled with. I have my right arm already done, but that's like all personal stuff. But my left arm is Marvel dedicated.
Yeah,
I have been a fan since I was 7 years old, and the first time I picked up a Spider-Man comic book when he was wearing the black suit and Venom wasn't even a thing, and I was just hooked. And I've been hooked for 32 years now. Holy shit, I'm old. Yeah, I mean, so when other people are like jumping on the bandwagon, I love the movies. Well, did you read the comic books? No. Well, let's talk.
No, man. I got Secret Wars #8 where he gets the symbiote from that machine on the planet. So cool.
Such a good. Yeah. I mean, and you know, we'll get to the music here in a little bit. But now that I found out we have common nerddoms, we're gonna talk for a second, because this year is going to make up for the last year, in my opinion, because we've got 4 movies and 5 TV shows coming. I mean, it's kind of saturated. It's going to kind of all happen really, really fast, but I think we need it because we didn't get anything last year. We were supposed to get, you know, Black Widow and Eternals, but now this year we're getting Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, and, you know, Spider-Man on top of, you know, WandaVision, you know, Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm like,
it seems like it's too much, but you end up just wanting it every time. Like every time WandaVision ends, I can't wait for the next one.
You know what? Last week, I thought was the perfect. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, but then Today, whoa. Like,
Right.
like they let you in on some stuff. Like, I noticed right away, I'm like, wait a second, what is going on here? Because it's like, okay, so does she know or does she not know? But then you got the answer pretty quickly that she knows, and it's her mind. But then at the same time, where does Sword fit into all this?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm going. Like, are they going to follow, Vision and the Scarlet Witch comic book, or are they going to go a completely different direction? Because, I mean, I don't care if you, spoiler alert, whatever, if you want to watch the show and you haven't watched it yet, turn it off now. But now that William and Thomas are involved, is Mephisto going to get involved? Because that's what happened there. So, see, I told you we could talk about this for hours. I'm really, 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 really curious.
Right. It just feeds you just enough. I'm glad that last week they put out 2 episodes, because the first one I was like, this is odd. It was not at all what I expected. It was like watching the Dick Van Dyke Show or something.
Yeah. But they still kind of threw in little hints of what was going on, especially the beekeeper at the end there of the episode 2. And then the first episode, when the Sword is just sitting there watching her. But yeah, but then her throwing Monica Rambeau, excuse me, not I'm sorry. What's her name? Whatever her name is on the show right now, but it's Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
Throwing her out of the world, back to the Sword base. So it's like, okay, she does know where she's at and she has control. So we see that now, because last week she said no and then rewound time. And then today, Vision's like, something's weird's going on here, and she blipped and then said something else. So she knows, but is it in conjunction with her, or is it? That's the question. And how is it all going to tie in? I'm so stoked. It's so good.
It's cool.
It's
so cool.
It could go in so many different directions. All I know is that this is going to lead directly into, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness,
which comes out like in 22.
Comes out next year, yeah.
Yeah.
But between then and now, we also have Spider-Man, which is going to have Doctor Strange in it. So are they going to play the multiverse, thing in there? Because there's been
they have to.
There's so many rumors.
Well, like they've had Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and what's the dude's name that played Doc Ock? All these people, Jamie Foxx. Yeah. They're all in the casting list. So something is happening with the multiverse.
Yeah. I mean, I've even heard rumors that Miles Morales is going to get introduced as well. I've also heard rumors that Willem Dafoe might be coming in, and also Charles Dahan. So there's some yeah.
It's so cool.
It really is. And for someone who's been a nerd like me for 32 years, to see the stuff that I was reading as a kid now come to life on the big screen in ways I never imagined possible.
Yeah.
I mean, they teased it for such a long time with, with Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man's then, but it didn't have that big feeling to it, because it was missing so much around it, and plus it didn't really follow the comic books. And then Iron Man happened, and you knew something was going to be huge, and they've completely lived up to every single expectation.
Yeah, I think Avengers Endgame is the best movie ever made.
So do I. Just 100% agree
so
with
good.
You. It is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to say there's theatrical releases that are more emotional or just deeper. Maybe you said you had better actors, but in terms of what I love, it was the culmination of just like 20 films coming together and being, I'm 47. This is like all I cared about when I was a kid, and it's alive, and they do it so well.
They did. I mean,
it's so good.
Robert Downey Jr. pulled off a performance of a lifetime. He will never, ever be able to pull off what he pulled off in Endgame ever again. And that last 40 minutes of movie. I mean, from the moment they walk outside and, you know, that immediate fight between them and Thanos, I started to get goosebumps. And then all of a sudden, you hear Sam on your left. And then all of a sudden, just everyone, at that moment, once I saw that first portal open, I bawled like a freaking baby and didn't stop crying the entire rest of the movie. It was just so much emotion. And then Avengers Assemble. It was like, oh, so fucking
it's so
good.
Cathartic. When Cap picked up Mjolnir, you just like, I was like, I can't go back to regular life after this. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It really was. And for people that were comic book nerds, you knew that he was worthy. And they teased it in Ultron.
Yeah.
But then, you know, and I think at that point in time, I think Cap knew he could lift it because he wiggled it.
Which is so much cooler because he was just like, no, I'm not going to do this to Thor.
Yeah. And
he
that's
knew
exactly what it was. He didn't want to do it to Thor until the time was right. And he knew the time was right. Oh, so damn it. Now I need to go watch that movie again for like the 50th fucking time.
So well made.
Whenever I'm feeling down, like that is like the movie I go to. I cannot not get enough of that movie.
Yeah.
So damn good.
Agreed.
And like today when Monica Rambeau freaking mentioned, you know, Ultron. My hairs on my arms stood up on their ends. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, here we go. And then
Pietro. And then do you think that's why she threw her out of the bubble?
Because I think she did because we don't know what was said in between the time that they cut away and then she threw, because they went outside Division with Agnes or Agatha, whoever she is. Speculation rampant on that one. Is she the witch? You know, who knows? But then who is Herb? And there's some, oh God, that's some stuff there. But we don't know what was said. So I'm curious.
You're right. Yeah.
But I think I'm pretty sure she's the witch. And her husband Ralph, who we've never seen, is Mephisto.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
So cool, man. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I've also heard rumors that we're gonna get Pietro back in this.
I would love that. He's one of my favorite comic book heroes.
I mean, she could theoretically bring him back, but at the same time, what she could do is kind of, because of the multiverse, she could kind of merge, and she could be the one to bring the X-Men in, and she can bring in what's his name who played Quicksilver in the X-Men universe, because he was well loved. So it's possible that he's one of the ones that they kept, because as of right now they've only kept Ryan Reynolds. Everyone else got the can. But Evan Peters was badass. He was like one of the best ones in those damn movies. So it's possible they could bring him back. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's so much good stuff.
So fun. So fun to talk about.
It really is. The speculation and the direction, you know, is crazy. Because I mean, especially now, especially with these 3 episodes, it's almost like straight from, you know, Vision and the Scarlet Witch comic book from, what is it, 98, 86, 85? Somewhere in there.
Yeah, I haven't read it. So it's following it pretty closely.
Oh, it's following it almost to a T.
Cool.
Especially the twins. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on there.
Okay.
So, yeah. I'm just so.
Yeah. It's so cool, dude.
It's so cool. So cool.
It's a good time to be alive.
It really is. I mean, last year to not get anything comic book related, you know, with the exception of frickin' Wonder Woman, which was a huge stinking ball of shit.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my! I am not a DC fan.
Same with me.
By any
I'm just like,
means.
I liked the first Wonder Woman.
I
The
did.
other DC movies, I'm just like, what are they
No.
doing?
No, I haven't liked anything DC has put out since The Dark Knight.
Yeah, since Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah, I mean, and what Heath Ledger did, that was the last time I enjoyed, like thoroughly enjoyed a DC movie. I never read the comics. I was never a DC person. Never read them. But I've always been Marvel. But I was like, you know what? This is the only thing comic book we've had all year long. Let me give this a chance. Because I did like the first Wonder Woman movie. And
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It was, this movie just, it killed all the momentum, in my opinion.
All right, I'm gonna wait till it's like on Netflix or something and watch it.
I mean, I watched it on HBO Max, but
Yeah,
it was, I mean, it's just, ugh. If I didn't already have a subscription to HBO Max, I wouldn't have watched it. I wouldn't have paid $15 to watch that movie. But I already had the subscription, so I was like, whatever. But yeah. So anyway,
Anyway,
enough comic book talk. How's everything going with the band, the music? I mean, what was the idea behind, putting out a new album now during these weird times to where you can't tour?
yeah. So we've been kind of chipping away at this album for about 4 years. It's been difficult because the way we used to write was completely different. We all lived in Denver. We just go together, jam. If somebody had some idea for a song, we'd just kind of work it out together. And I would listen to the music and think about what it sounded like it should be about and write some lyrics. Usually we were so far ahead. And, like back then we were on a label. So the label always wanted us to put out like an album a year. And so we'd have music and I'd still be writing lyrics like in the studio, sometimes as I was tracking them. Which I don't know. I mean, it was fine, but I think we could have done better. And so we've kind of taken this other course where we really spend too much time working on songs. And it took us 8 years between the last album. We did put out an EP in the middle, but just too long, just because we're kind of chewing over stuff. And Scott, who's he's our bass player now. He used to be our guitar player. He mails me stuff and we'll chat back and forth, and it'll go to the other guys who will weigh in, and just kind of gets bogged down because we're all over the country right now. But it just seemed like with us not playing shows, we had a little bit more time freed up. We don't play a lot of shows. We probably play like less than 20 a year, and it's mostly flying out. Like the last one we did, we flew to Orlando and then flew some like Southwest to Atlanta the next day and played with MXPX. And then we go home. You go home and have a hangover the next day and then go back to work on Monday. But I think what was happening with us writing the lyrics, with us writing for this album, was that it became increasingly more political just because of the times. And we felt that by June, it was, I had to track vocals so we could try and get it out. We tried to get it out before the election, and it ended up coming out right after, like last week, like right after the Capitol was stormed. So it's still pretty fresh, good political commentary.
Yeah. And that was probably the craziest. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean, I think that shocked me more than 9/11.
Yeah.
Because that was our own people.
That what I think stinks is it seems like so many people are just trying to normalize it. Like, no, it's just a riot. They've been rioting since the summer, It wasn't a riot, like I feel like the right is like, no, it's Antifa, or, in the summer, brown people broke into Starbucks, and so this is our turn, and you're just like, oh my god, shut up.
Comparing
You know,
comparing the two is completely uncalled for.
it's not a Starbucks. It's our capital. Like if you heard on the news, hey, the capital of Ecuador was overrun by a mob, would you just be like, oh, those guys are just exercising their right to free speech? Or would you just be like, oh, that's the end of that country?
Exactly.
You know, like I feel like the world just heard that and is like, oh my gosh, what?
Yeah.
And still, if like we're just like, well, we've arrested 20 people now, and it just seems like
They're not done yet.
yeah, I know they're not done, but some people are being let go on bail, and I thought that an act of treason was like punishable by death. I'm not advocating for that. Yeah, I'm not advocating for that, but like, it doesn't seem like you should just let somebody out on bail if they've done this act of treason against the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad to where I'm watching on Wednesday. And I only watched, the last hour of the whole thing because I know it was broadcast pretty much all day, but I only watched actually seeing her and him get inaugurated. And watching his speech, which, by the way, it was just amazing. But I'm sitting there in the back of my mind going, please don't be assassinated. Please don't be assassinated. And that's a sad thing in my head to think that because of what we saw on the 6th, that was possible this past Wednesday.
Yeah. It's pretty heavy.
It is. But, he's made it 3 days. So let's see if we can keep this going.
They are already trying to impeach him, by the way.
That senator from Georgia, or no, congresswoman from Georgia. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
She her exact quote was, I did file the articles of impeachment. Let's see how that goes. It's like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's now it's comical. Before, I used to like read Twitter every day and see, okay, what crazy shit is Donald Trump saying today? So I can at least laugh at it and then be worried about it later. Now it's just like these Republicans are just saying shit and it's just comical. Because
it's like a caricature of themselves.
They really are, because 4 years ago, when all these Democrats were sitting there saying, not my president, and they were all saying, too bad, yes he is, you live here. Now they're the same ones that are sitting there saying, not my president, bring back Trump. It's like, dude, how fucking, oxymoronic can you be? How hypocritical can you be? It's sad. It's
so sad. I don't like it. It sucks that she did it because it's like a fundraising drive. She could get people to give money, but I just feel like, remember 2 weeks ago when the government was almost overthrown for people talking this shit? Like, just hold on to that for a month. Just give it a month before you do your stupid stunts again. I don't know.
I'm hoping that there is no more stupid stunts. I'm hoping that, they're just gonna sit around on Twitter or, Instagram or TikTok and just make stupid videos or stupid comments. Fine. Go ahead and make your stupid comments. Go ahead and be stupid. That's fine. We're just gonna go ahead and laugh at you. I saw the other day a person's like, bring back my best friend, with a picture of Donald Trump. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's not that, I swear to God, it's not that big of a deal. Have you even met the man?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty freaking funny. I almost pissed myself with how funny it was.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, but as a comedian, as a podcast host, as somebody who lives on the internet for a living, I can't help but laugh. I can't help but try to make some type of sense of it all. Whether it's, being able to take that ammunition and talk to politically driven bands like yourselves, or, or like the other bands that I've talked to over the last few months, and just like use that as ammunition to create a good conversation on the show, or to create a good, conversation for, another show where I just make jokes all the damn time, or whatever the case might be. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there going, is this really real? I mean, are we?
Yeah.
I mean, is the this is the fucking Matrix. I mean, it really fucking is. I mean, there's a glitch going on.
I wish, like all of this, like just Donald Trump. I mean, I don't want to say he killed 400,000 people, but certainly we could have done something more to stop this. Like even just him saying, "Hey, everybody, let's just wear masks. It may not work, but it may. So let's try it. Let's just do it."
Yeah.
How many people would have lived?
Who knows? But what's what's really funny, and I don't want to say take what you just said lightly, because it's not in any way, shape, or form, but the remarks from Fauci yesterday and today. Now that I don't want to talk bad about the previous administration, but I'm not going to lie to you anymore. I didn't want to have to contradict him, but you know what? Now we're going to be completely open and honest with you. Wait a minute. We know you haven't been, but thank you very much for admitting that.
I can't believe that dude kept his job. Like I just seeing him behind Trump, like just putting his hand over his face, and you're like, he's gonna get fired. But I think about medical ethics classes, like when you're in med school, how many years they're going to be talking about that guy's role. That like if he just spoke up and said, "Hey, dude, you're killing people," or "This is not working," like we need a better plan and you need to tell people about wearing masks, he would have been fired and had no influence at all on the policy.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, at the same time, though, I mean, he did push the envelope with Trump many, many times. I mean, there was many different times when Trump's sitting there standing behind him with this grumpy look on his face, like, this motherfucker. So, I mean, he's the only one that pushed Trump's buttons that wasn't fired. Could he have pushed them more? Absolutely. But at the same time, he pushed the shit out of some buttons and still didn't get fired. So,
yeah.
And now he's going out saying, "Sorry, I didn't want to have to, lose my job, but now we're going to be honest with you. So let's do our job." It's like, oh, okay. I guess I kind of agree with you on that, but that was not right. But let's try to shake hands and sing Kumbaya and get through this.
Yeah. Or would it have been worse though if he did, stand up to Trump and get fired? It
would have been worse.
I agree. I think that guy's really smart, and he was just like, I got to keep my job so I can influence the policy a little bit.
Yeah, because what Trump would have done next is probably went to Texas and hired that one crazy lady that had that, whatever her name was. I can't remember that strip mall doctor that was treating everybody with hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
And he would have hired her in a heartbeat. "I just want you to say this and say exactly what I'm telling you to do." "Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I got you."
Yeah.
I mean, so I admire Fauci with what he did, and I'm hoping that he really does turn it around. I know he has the capabilities of doing so.
How nice is it ever since Wednesday at noon to just feel your butthole unclench, just to be like, we're probably not going to get nuked today, or like what, I don't have to look on Twitter and see what dumbass shit he's tweeting, or what he's said, or who he's fired.
We'll never have to worry about seeing that again, to be honest.
Oh, so wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
So wonderful.
Thank you, Twitter. But one thing I did find funny, and I can't remember like the last time I was, excited to watch a inauguration, unless it was like 2008, or 2009, excuse me. But they inaugurated him like 8 minutes early. Yeah, it was like 11:52 when he put his hand on that Bible. I was like, I think this is by design. Yeah, that clock went a little fast that day, and they were just like, "Hey, let's just get him out, fuck it."
I hope Donald Trump is aware of that. You lost 8 minutes of your presidency.
Yeah, but it didn't stop him from doing other crazy things, and then on his way out. Like pardoning Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
For a gun charge.
Okay.
Or what was the other there's some other rapper that he had pardoned as well. I can't remember who it was.
Right.
And then but he pardoned all these people, but he couldn't pardon Joe Exotic. Come on, pardon the Tiger King. Come on.
No, I don't know why.
Did you hear about what he did?
What? Oh, that he had a limo pulled up?
Yes. It was out in front of the jailhouse for like 2 days waiting for a pardon. He was that confident.
Oh, man.
It was like some Dodge Durango limousine, like Hemi thing. I don't even know, but oh my God.
So good.
We just need to let him out. There's comedy and hijink. I mean, that would be like some of the greatest television this man would produce. It would be untouchable.
It's true. It's true. How much longer does he have on his sentence?
I don't remember how long he was sentenced to. That's interesting. I'm curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things to where it's like if you're gonna do this for everybody else, you couldn't have done Joe Exotic too.
Yeah, no. Cut us some slack here.
I know. I mean, I'm sure his husband misses him, and I'm sure the drug market and his drug kingpins, that he used to buy his shit from, miss him too.
I'm sure.
But the guy that bought his zoo, was now had to give up all of the tigers. Like some Texas, I think it was Texas or Oklahoma judge ruled that he has to give up every single tiger now. I don't know where he had to go, where they give him to, but he has to give them all up.
Holy cow.
So, poor Joe.
Poor Joe.
Poor Joe.
I wonder if Carol Baskin is friends with Donald John Trump. I was like, please don't let this guy out. I'll donate to your next campaign.
You know what? She lives in Florida. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. I moved here to Virginia in 2016 from Florida.
Did you?
Yeah, I moved here from the Orlando area, and I could not get out of there fast enough.
Did you grow up there?
So I'm originally from Ohio.
Okay. I saw your Buckeyes tattoo.
Yeah, I'm originally from Ohio. I moved to Florida when I was 7 or 8. I can't remember. And then I moved here almost 5 years ago.
Yeah, my whole family's from Ohio. I used to live in Bowling Green.
Yeah, I was born and raised right outside of Cleveland in a little city called Lorraine.
All right. Right
on freaking Lake Erie. My backyard was Lake Erie as a kid.
That's nice.
Oh yeah. I miss going up there though. I haven't been there since my grandfather passed away. Back in 2014 when he passed away, and I miss it. I wish I could get up there more.
Yeah, do a road trip. Go on up there.
I mean, it's only a 5-hour drive now. It used to be 16 hours.
Yeah. They're from Florida.
Yeah.
Oh man, I about 3 years ago, my sister decided to come out and stay with us for the summer. So her son is about the same age, but a year younger than my oldest. So they were probably about 6 and 7 at the time. No, they were younger because we had a newborn. So my youngest was a baby. She was still in like a pack and play. And we had originally been like, all right, I saved up some money. We can go to the beach. We'll go to the Outer Banks or something. It'll be a good vacation. But then my sister came and I was like, I can't afford this. She was still in school. So I was like, I'm going to be a good big brother. I'll pay for this. But I was like, how are we going to go to the beach? We can't. And then somehow it dawned on me, Lake Erie. And so this is the worst vacation I've ever been on. We had just gotten like one of those Volvo, like the SUVs, like a used XC90. So it had third row.
Okay.
It was cool. I was like, we're all going to go in here. We'll strap all our crap on the top. And did that. And then went with these two, like a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a baby, and my sister and my wife and I, thinking like, we'll start in Cleveland. I'll go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Then we'll go to Cedar Point. We'll go to Put-in-Bay. So we go, and then I'm just like, oh, I forgot how shitty Sandusky is. We went, so we're like, we'll go Put-in-Bay the first day, and it'll be cool. It's nice. The kids were monsters. Like, we get out there, just insane. Nobody was sleeping. The baby was keeping everybody up all night. My nephew was afraid of the merry-go-round, and so I was like, well, you probably should not go to Cedar Point.
There's some scarier things at Cedar Point than the merry-go-round.
Oh man,
like that 70-year-old freaking wooden roller coaster, the Beast.
Oh my god,
that thing is so fucking rickety. last time I rode was like 10 years ago. I was like, this is not safe. We cannot.
It's not safe.
It's not safe.
They need to start making you sign a waiver to go on that thing. No, but yeah. So we went to the beach. We went to somewhere, and I just turned to the left, and I'm like, there's a nuclear power plant that we're downwind from. I cut my hand on like a piece of glass in the water, and I swear I got like hepatitis from it, like from Lake Erie.
You know what the sad thing about it is? That power plant is actually not an Ohio power plant. It's a Michigan power plant.
No. So it's powering Michigan, but they put it in Ohio because they're just like, well, we're already messed up.
Michigan, the rivalry between Ohio and Michigan extends way beyond, Ohio State versus Michigan. I mean, it's Michigan tried to put Michigan University in Ohio. I mean, I think it was wasn't it Sandusky or something like that? Originally?
Really?
Yeah. And that's how the rivalry started, because they said, no, this is our land, and like, no, this is ours. And then they wanted to put the school there, and then they ended up moving it. But there's more to that story. But yeah, I mean, that rivalry is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and put a nuclear power plant there for everything you see at Cedar Point.
Yeah, but you don't get any of that power.
Nope, you can watch it.
Good job.
Yeah,
good job, Ohio.
I do miss it though. I do miss it. I do miss fishing out on Lake Erie and trying to catch some Lake Erie walleye or perch and grilling it up or frying it up with some, I do miss that, or going hunting with my uncle, But I need to go up there again. I think I'm gonna go there this summer.
Just drive up there. It's good.
I think I'm gonna do that
before it gets too hot.
But up there it doesn't get hot. I remember when my grandmother passed away. That was 2010, 2011. Me and my brother had drove up there. It was July of that year. She had passed away. We get there, and it's like 75 degrees in the shade. And me and my brother are just chilling, and it's nice. And they're all sitting there going, "Oh my God, it's so hot!" Like, it's 75.
It's the humidity, though.
I know. And they live out, or my grandparents used to live right out in the middle of in Lima, so it's like all farm country, and just right in the middle of nothing. But they would just be like, "It's so hot, I can't do this." I'm like, it's nothing. This is like. This is beach weather, guys.
Yeah. Lima, Ohio. It's a good place.
Yeah, my dad, was born and raised there. He went to Elida High School. My uncle Kevin, same thing. He was like a football star at the time, and just like, what, we have some pretty deep roots in Ohio, and I like I said, I need to make my way back, and it's like one of those things where it's like I haven't been there since my grandparents died, and it's just like it's just eerie to me.
So on your way back, when you hit Pittsburgh, you got to go to this. It's an Argentinian sandwich shop. Like, they make this. It's mostly like kind of steak sandwiches, but you can get chicken or whatever. I think they have vegetarian stuff if you don't eat meat. It's called Gauchos. It's the best restaurant. It's so good. It's like it's usually standing room only because it's so packed.
Really?
It's so good. Yeah,
I think
you
I've
gotta
heard
go
of
there.
it.
They give you like this basket of fried potatoes, and then there's like 4 or 5 different things you can dip it in, and it's all like these different garlicky or onion chimichurris. Oh, it's so good.
I think I said
I would.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, that was the best part of my vacation is we went there.
If I'm gonna go to Lima, I'm not gonna go through Pittsburgh though. I might just go
Oh, yeah,
straight
you're
through
right.
West Virginia and go up through
Yeah.
West Virginia. Especially if I'm gonna go visit Columbus first.
All right.
Can't not go and and not go to Columbus.
When's the last time you've been to Columbus?
Was the year my grandfather passed away.
It's really a cool place. It's so like it's just hipster heaven there.
It is.
There's like so many cool record stores and restaurants and just cool shops.
Yeah,
It's cool.
The last time I went there when my grandfather passed away, I drove through Cincinnati and visited my aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Went and got some good Ohio spaghetti, Ohio chili, whatever you want to call it.
That's Skyline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I went to Columbus and got some Donato's pizza, and then I went over to Lima from there.
Sweet, man.
Yeah. So my roots go, so deep into Ohio. At one point in time, I think it was 2005, 2006. Donato's Pizza had actually tried to expand and franchise out into Florida.
Yeah.
And when they came there, I was like, "Oh my God, my home pizza! Pizza from Ohio." I went and worked there.
You did.
I was the store manager for one of the Donato's in Orlando.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, but they lasted all of like 2 years, 3 years tops. I can't remember. I mean, it was yeah. They got beat up pretty quickly.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You
But
think there's enough Buckeyes down in Florida that people would have taken to it pretty well, but no.
I mean, they were pretty busy. At least
Yeah.
the one I worked at. But like some of the other ones weren't that busy at all.
Yeah.
The one I worked at was right near the University of Central Florida, so college crowd.
Alright.
But the other ones, not so much.
It was your great management skills.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least at that one.
Yeah. You did it.
But I gave up that business a long time ago. I never want to step foot in another restaurant and be another restaurant manager ever again.
It's hard working in restaurants, and I can't imagine just being a manager, just dealing with trying to get people to work and be to work on time, and when people call out.
So I worked after I left Donato's. I ended up going to work for Hooters, and I was at Hooters for a year before I left the restaurant business. That was in 2006. Yeah, it was 2006. Yeah. So it was 2005 I was there. 2006 I was at Hooters, and then I left altogether and went to retail after that. At the end of 2006, and I went to ended up going to work for Walmart, and I was at Walmart for 10 years before I left and moved up here, and worked for a grocery chain up here. And I just got out of the retail business back in July, and I've been doing this full time since July. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I can't. I never want to do retail again. I never want to do restaurants again. I never want to do anything else other than talk to people on the internet.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, I've been very lucky, but at the same time, it's just one of those things where it's like, looking back at all the different things I had to put up with to get to the point where I'm at, it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Well, you could probably, yeah. I mean, I'm jealous of you that you get to do this for a living. That's really cool, man.
It's not without its challenges. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes a sponsor will say, "Hey, you didn't hit your mark this month, or you didn't go, 2% over what you did last month, so we're gonna hold back a little bit." And it's like,
Wow.
oh shit, okay, now I'm like $300 or $400 short. Let me go Uber for a little bit, and so I still have to go out and Uber occasionally, but just to make up the difference if a sponsor falls through for a month. But it's it's not without its challenges, but it's definitely at the end of the day, it's worth it.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, it is. I think I'm busier now than I ever was in retail. I mean, between talking to all these PR people and then having to wait for emails back, and then sending them an email and then getting back and then doing this and then 10 more emails come in and they're all like, okay, well, how about we do this on this day? And it's like, I'm already booked. Can we do it for this day? It's like, it's this constant coordination. If I could afford an assistant, I would. But
you'll get there.
Oh my God. Like today, my email was blowing up. Normally I only do 5 shows in a week. I literally have 15 booked for next week.
Christ.
So like, I can put out shows for 3 weeks after I get done next week. But no, I'm just going to end up doing more the following week. I'm just going to have like this whole catalog of done shows and maybe take a break.
Nice.
It is, but at the same time, I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll take a break now. But no, I won't stop. And it's just going to keep going and going and going and going and going. But it's, that's the same logic that you guys had for, building taking 4 years to tinker with a record. You guys wanted to put out the best product possible. And that's how I figure it is the same thing. It's like, if I'm going to be on the air 5 days a week, putting out 5 shows a week, which I do, Monday through Friday, I want to make sure it's the best stuff out there. And, so if I got to run myself rampant, and talk to 10 different freaking PR agents in a day and book this person one day and then, maybe not so, this person over here, but it's all worth it, especially when I get to talk to people like you and other people, that represented by Earshot, that whole indie band mentality. I love that because, I mean, the last year we haven't gotten anything from the big bands with the exception of maybe Taylor Swift put out 2 albums and Miley put out an album. And a couple other bands here and there, Bring Me the Horizon put out one. But, it wasn't a whole slew of albums last year. But then you look at the indie charts. Indie bands were putting out music left and right last year. And it was like, this is the year to be an indie band. Because now you're not competing with the, the Metallicas and the Avenged Sevenfolds of the world. Now you're just competing with, the guy down the street. But he's going to support you just as much as you support him. So let's frickin' do it. And it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. I think the other good thing that will come out of this is people are going to be itching to see shows again. I think, the 90s killed it for everybody because there were so many shows all the time. You could go see your favorite band for $5 twice a year. And I think people just took it for granted and got burned out on it. And then, whatever Napster happened and people started having to charge more to, for their tickets because they weren't making any money selling records.
Yeah.
So, but I think what will come out of this is just people after a year and a half not seeing shows are really going to want to see shows and appreciate it again.
Yeah. I mean, I never lost my appreciation for shows. I mean, in 2019, I went to 10 different concerts.
It's cool.
And 3 of them were the exact same band because I was like, every time they came through town, I'm like, I'm going to see them again.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're just that good of a band. But it's like, I took it for granted. Even being able to go see 10 different shows. I mean, because where I live at, I mean, everybody comes through town here. I mean, whether it's Baltimore or Silver Springs or DC, or even right up the road at the Jiffy Lube Live, which is not too far from me either. Everyone comes through here. So I have a lot of, I'm honored the same type of privileges that I had down in Florida, down in House of Blues and Hard Rock Cafe and blah, 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 blah. I got that same type of treatment here, but I did take it for granted because I thought it was always going to be here. And, on September 2nd or 3rd, whatever day it was, the day before Labor Day of 2019, I'm sitting at, the Jiffy Lube Live watching Slipknot, doing the Slipknot Roadshow. And I never thought 6 months from now, I'm not going to be able to say I saw a concert. And then a year later, a year and a half later, sitting here going, shit, when was the last time I saw a show? Oh my God, it was September of 2019.
Jeez.
And that is sad. I mean, and on the other front, I mean, being a stand-up, being able to drive to DC on a Monday night to go do an open mic, and then on a Friday night having an actual book show, and then maybe going to do another open mic the other day, and then being able to, I can't do that either.
Yeah. I hope people just really, the takeaway from all this is that they really want to see shows, see comedians, like all that support will come back.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be across the board once it comes back. Like, theaters and small concert venues are going to be completely sold out. I mean, everything from Broadway and, the ballet to comedy and metal shows are just going to be sold out across the board. If you're not on Ticketmaster or frickin', whatever that other one is, Live Nation, like the moment they go on sale, you're not getting a ticket.
I hope you're right, man. It would be so cool.
It really will be. And, I think it's going to open up the doors for more festivals, I think.
I miss festivals. Like what happened to that? Warped Tour they did their last tour. Was it not last year?
It was 2019.
The year before.
It was 2019, yeah. They did their last tour that summer. Now they're still gonna be doing Warped Tour, but it's not gonna be a tour anymore. It's just gonna be a one-time show. I think it's wherever they decide to be at that year. Like Lollapalooza used to do all the different touring, and then they're like, okay, we're just gonna do one show at a time, and here it is. And I think that's what they're gonna do, but it's not gonna be the same. But like, you got Sonic Temple, which used to be Rock on the Range in Columbus. Then you've got Carolina Rebellion. You've got Coachella, obviously. Rocklahoma. Houston Open Air. Then Detroit Open Air. Then you've got the one in California. I can't remember what it's called. And then you got two in Florida. One's in Jacksonville, and the other one's in like West Palm Beach. I can't remember the name of those. But that's all I can really. And then there's a few smaller ones here and there, but those are the major ones every year. But those all take place in May, so you can't even like tour to different ones.
Yeah, it used to just be for us. We would just play festivals. We would play festivals all summer long. There was like 20 festivals we would play, or like the Warped Tour. Being on the Warped Tour. You would go for 3 months playing every day, just festivals, just the Warped Tour every day.
Yeah,
I miss that. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss that. I mean, especially in the 90s and 2000s, Warped Tour and Ozfest and everything else like that. I mean, there was so much good stuff back then. I mean, then in Orlando, I mean, there's still that festival that they put on by the local by the local station every year, which is called Earth Day Birthday. That still goes on. So and then in Tampa, they do one called 98 Rock Fest. So every year I get to go to 4 different festivals plus all the different concerts that used to go through town. But now you don't get that. You have to actually travel to the different, if I want to go see a 3-day show, I got to go to Ohio. Which it's an excuse to go to Ohio, but I mean, I would love to go to Rock on the Range or Sonic Temple now is whatever it's called. So that's just but it sucks. But at the same time, it's cool that they still exist. But I wish there was more traveling tours.
Yeah, I just don't think they can pay the bands because they're not selling records anymore. So it's like, how do you make it work?
Yeah, I mean, even if you think about it, on for example, Rock on the Range or, it's a 3 or 4 day festival. It's $120 a person. You sell 20,000 tickets. You made, and then on top of that, sponsorships and other stuff like that. But at the end of the day, after you pay Metallica for headlining, and all the other 3 headliners that you had, how much at the end of the day are you actually pocketing?
Right. I mean, that's how much do those guys make for a show? Do they make $1 million? Do they make it back in merch? I don't know.
Oh, I'm almost positive Metallica is a minimum of $1 million just to get up and show up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the exact for that, but I would assume for a a festival, there are at least 1 million.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
That's good money. I don't think I'd be working as a nurse anymore if I could just do one of those shows.
Yeah, do it one time and be like, I'm set, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm set. I'm gonna buy a Taco Bell and then I'll just live off that. And if I get hungry, I can just eat a spicy bean burrito.
Yeah. That's you know what? That's the only way I would ever go back into a restaurant if I had the money to franchise a Taco Bell.
If you owned a Taco Bell, yes.
Hell yeah! But I would go in maybe once a week to say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
And then go back home.
Yeah.
Give me a couple tacos while I'm there. And head out.
Check up on your manager. It's like, everything good? Can I get a 12-pack tacos? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Especially if you get in a state that legalizes marijuana, then you're set at Taco Bell.
And for you and I, it's coming this year.
I hope so. It's did they legalize or they decriminalize possession?
Yes, that was October 1st of last year. Possession got decriminalized for up to an ounce. It's only like a $25 fine. Then medicinal got approved at that same time. However, like in Northern Virginia, there's not a single dispensary yet. So it's completely pointless. So luckily, Maryland and Virginia have an agreement to where if you have a Virginia card, you can go to Maryland and go to one of their dispensaries. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to go to Maryland every time. So I haven't even gotten a medical card yet. Even though I qualify for one exponentially. But it's like, no, I'll just continue to use CBD until that comes through. But I'm hoping Northam pulls it through for us because, I mean, that would be a huge thing for us.
It's so good. Just, I mean, even if you don't indulge in it, it's so good for the economy and just like for the criminal justice system, just to take that all off the books. You know, in Colorado, the first 3 or 4 years they had just money to burn.
Yeah, I think I heard something like $100 million surplus or something along those lines.
Right.
At the end of that year 3, like something ridiculous. I might be wrong on that number, but it was some ridiculous $1 million number of a surplus.
Oh yeah, and like that's like every school. They're just like, do you have a laptop? Well, do you have an iPad? Well, here you go. You know, like the kids are just getting like the best technology. They're paying their teachers more, probably still not paying them what they deserve, but and they had $100 million surplus after that.
Yeah, Colorado. However, Washington or Seattle at least took it a little too far this year with basically decriminalizing everything.
I only read headlines on that, so I'm not quite sure what happened. I just would see like memes about them, like, "Hey, cocaine is legal."
It's like 1 gram, or it's like some small amount. It's not like
for real.
Yeah, it's like a $25, $30, $45, $55, whatever it is, fine for anything less than like a small amount. It's like a gram or I can't even remember, but it's some small amount. But everything, crack, cocaine, heroin, the whole nine, is decriminalized to a certain degree. It's like I said, it's a very small amount, but at the same time, it's like that's a little too far, guys.
It seems a bit too far.
Yeah, I mean, marijuana and mushrooms. That's I think the extent. I think we should leave it at.
Well,
if it comes from the ground.
Yeah. I mean, there's not. You don't have social issues that you have even with alcohol. That you have with marijuana and shrooms. That people just enjoy themselves. They don't get up and beat their kids. They don't. They're not driving 100 miles per hour in the wrong lane. It's all of the social issues that we have surrounding alcohol, I think, can be decreased, I think, just by making those two things legal.
Well, to go even further than that, being someone that suffers from mental health issues, I'm bipolar. I've suffered, suicidal thoughts and survived 2 suicide attempts and everything else in between. When I look at, decriminalizing and legalizing marijuana, it's like, okay, there's so many different things that it treats as far as anxiety, depression, blah, 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 blah. But then looking at mushrooms actually like reset your brain and reset the brain chemicals. So if you're having like a major panic attack and take a shroom, it almost immediately stops. Yeah, you're going to have a trip for a little bit, but when you come out of it, your brain is going to be basically reset back to quote unquote normal in ways that Lexapro or Zoloft or Xanax can never do for you. And it's like, why is this not legal? Oh, I know why. Because Pfizer doesn't make it. Pfizer doesn't have a mushroom field outside.
They made enough of Viagra. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, but I made this joke the other day. You know, when you have depression, you know, most of the time you get to prescribed, you know, Lexapro or Zoloft, which has sexual side effects. So it's like, you know, hey, you take this and this will help your depression, but you're going to be more depressed that you can't get it up. So here, take this other pill too. And then you're cured. So take the Viagra, which by the way isn't covered on insurance. So you have to spend like $100 for like a pill. But,
oh my god,
it's the most ridiculous shit ever. I hate our freaking system.
Yeah, I agree. Agreed. I could talk about how messed up our healthcare system is for so many hours.
Oh my god, you're not the only one. Especially like I said, for someone that has to deal with it the way I have to deal with it, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I had a therapist on the other day and we were talking about this exact subject. And we were talking about like the difference between a therapist and a psychiatrist. And, you know, the psychiatrist literally just says, oh, what's wrong with you? Okay, here's your pills. You know what I'm saying? And doesn't even care how you're feeling or anything else like that. And then your therapist doesn't even, you know, 9 times out of 10 work with the psychiatrist. You got to kind of be the in-between person. Why do I have to be the in-between person? It's like, I don't even see a psychiatrist anymore. My family doctor takes care of my medicine and he actually talks to my therapist. So it works out great. But like, but I can go to see a psychiatrist. Nope, not even touching it. Yeah. Our medical system's so jacked. It's not even funny.
Yeah, they usually just want to make sure they'll talk to you to make sure you're not having suicidal ideations, and then be like, "Okay, well, how about this drug?"
Yeah, I never went to a psychiatrist, and I refuse to. Therapy, I do, not psychiatry.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't want to dog on those guys, but like our entire mental health system in this country got gutted by Reagan, and it's never returned. You know, everything is just kind of slapdash. It does not, it doesn't really serve us. And most insurance companies don't cover for mental health still.
Yeah, I mean, and it's either it doesn't cover it or it's considered a specialty, and you have to pay twice the amount of a normal deductible. Yeah. So you're spending $40 a week to go see somebody, or $40 every other week, on top of your medications, which means you take medications for more stuff because now this isn't working or anything else like that. It's just like, oh, come on, this is stupid.
Yeah, or you self-medicate with alcohol and weed.
Again, I am fully for self-medicating with weed. Please do it. Smoke up, man. Smoke up. I mean, I have no harm in saying that I do, so whatever. I don't work.
There's no drug tests.
No drug tests at DCK Productions. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, what am I gonna do? Fire myself?
It's hard. Sometimes you have to, but it's hard. It's a hard decision.
Oh,
Who wants to have that talk with themselves?
Derek, it's time for a random drug test. Nah, I'm not doing it. Okay, cool. Whatever.
Well, you know what Derek, did you read the policy here in the handbook? It says if you refuse.
I wrote that policy, damn it. I can erase it. It's written in pencil. Dude, I've had a great time talking to you, man. It's been all over the place.
Man, it's been a really good time.
I love these types of conversations because, we talked about the music for a little bit, but, you know, you're going to talk about the music to 10 other different podcasters that Mike set you up with. why not have a conversation about everything else in between and get my audience to actually get to know the real person behind the microphone. And that's what I love doing here. Yeah, we're going to promote your stuff, and we're going to talk about it here in a second again. But at the same time, everything else that we've talked about is who you are, and that makes your music more relatable. And that's how I like to do things here. So thanks for coming along with me on that journey that hasn't been too much music talk, but everything else in between.
Yeah, Derek, thank you.
Hey, dude, no problem. But like I said before in my opening monologue, I have listened to the whole album a couple different times. And it is... So let me go ahead and, for anyone who hasn't heard Five Iron Frenzy before, even though in 25 years, if you've never heard one of their songs, that's a problem. But here's my interpretation from them. I've heard them before, but I've never listened to an album cover to cover multiple times the way I have in this last week.
Okay.
And I'm a hardcore metal guy.
Thanks, man.
And the way you infuse ska with rock, and there's even elements of metal. I mean, there's distortion on your guitars as hard as Avenged Sevenfold and Metallica. But then you've got that the horn section, you've got that the way you sing and everything else in between. It is an eclectic mix of like everything I love, and it's so fucking groovy and hard hitting at the same time. I absolutely fucking love it, man. Especially this album. It's so fucking, it hits on so many different levels. It's so fucking badass. And you guys, the 4 years was well deserved because this shit is fucking great.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
So,
we cut our teeth as a metal band. We were in a thrash metal band before, 4 of us, and then it ended up turning into like a industrial type thing because we couldn't get a drummer. So we just started programming stuff and then added samples. And we finally found Andy, and we're like, this guy's a really good drummer. I think he could play along to this, to our pre-programmed drum tracks or whatever, and listen to a click track. And homeboy at the time, this is 95, he hit so hard he couldn't hear anything in his headphones. And, there's no way we could have afforded in-ears at that time. We played a show like maybe once a month for gas money. And so we just started goofing around. We had to cut out all the synthesizer and all the samples and stuff. And what we liked at the time was punk and ska. And so we just started goofing around, and then we're like, let's do this. So Five Iron was born out of that. But we all love metal.
yeah. And it, like I said, it shows. Like I said, I've heard songs by you guys before, and I've known who you guys were for a long time. Like I said, I mean, you guys started playing music when I was in high school. So, I mean, I was obviously going to come across your stuff at some point in time. But like I said, this was the first time I've ever sat down and said, okay, I'm going to listen to this whole album cover to cover multiple times. And I did. And like I said, this album fucking rocks hard. But at the same time, it's got that groovy ska sound. But at the same time, it still has that hard, guitar sound where you can bob your head too, and it's just like, yes. So you guys with what you did with this album until this shakes apart is fantastic, and I just got nothing but love for you to say that, man.
Thanks, man.
So guys, stream it. Links are down below. It's fantastic. Stream it. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, everywhere else in between. Buy it. It's fantastic. 13 songs of just nothing but hard-hitting, good music. And like I said, it's not metal. It's not even ska. It's just music, and that's what I love about it. It doesn't fall into one classification. You hear the influences of everything, and I like that. And I think you guys pulled it off really, really well.
Thank you.
Yeah, even with your older stuff. I mean, I went back and listened to some of the older stuff today to get ready for this interview, and I was just like, damn, they're just good. Just good.
Thank you.
I mean, there's no way around it. And so, from somebody who suffers from mental health issues and uses music as an outlet, and is constantly seeking out new music, and this past year has been difficult, except for finding, floods and floods and floods of, indie bands. Thank you very much for giving me something new to listen to, and the thousands of others that deal with the same type of issues that I deal with. Something new to listen to take our mind off of our daily life and just allow us to, enjoy fucking good music. So thank you.
Thank you. That's I don't feel like we deserve all that, but thank you.
You know what? I mean, good music does that for me. I can listen, I find a good song, and then it's like, I don't care if it's relatable or not. If it's just a good song and it takes my mind off of it, the lyrics could have nothing to do with what I'm dealing with. But if it's just a good song and I can at least relate to the lyrics in some which way, shape, or form, and have a good, rhythm behind it, it takes my mind off of it. But, and I will go to that song constantly every time I'm having a down day. But after a certain while, that song just loses that effect. And it's nice to be able to find new songs to be able to cling to when I'm having my depressive days. And there's many different songs on this album that I could do that with. And I plan on doing that with. I did it today because I was having a down day most of the day until I came on the air with you, which completely cheered me up. So thank you for that. And again, it's the power of music is it transcends what you listen to in your ear. It goes way beyond that. And when you find a good band that understands that and isn't just pumping out music and new songs every 6 months, taking 4 years to make sure that they give you the best album that they possibly fucking can, that deserves every ounce of credit that you guys get. So thank you.
Thank you. Man. I don't know what to say after that. Thank you, though.
Dude, again, it's my fucking pleasure. There's no two ways around it. I hope this album, does a lot for you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. But again, just keep fucking doing it. And I hope, like you said, in your last interview that was posted in the press release, here's to another 25 fucking years. You guys did it once. You can definitely do it again. And I'm going to be, you found in yourself a new fan. Even though I was a fan before, I'm now more of a fan than I've ever have been before. And so thank you for that.
All right. We got to get up there and play like the 930 Club and get you on the guest list.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
But yeah, so we'll definitely keep in touch. And, Mike's my PR guy too. So
right.
we run in the same family. So we will talk again soon, brother. And I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Derek. It's been really nice talking to you, man.
It really has been, and it's nice to meet another Marvel nerd that I can nerd out with for a little bit too.
All right,
man. Well, you have a good rest of your night. Good luck with your family and everything else in between. Stay safe. I know you're a nurse, so stay safe out there and enjoy your weekend, man.
Thanks, man. You too.
No problem.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
See ya.
All right, guys, and that's our show. Thank you very much for being here this week. It's been a fucking wild ride, and next week is going to continue on with the same shit. Next week is going to be a little bit different. Like I said, I got a bunch of interviews already scheduled. However, it's going to be mostly mental health related, a lot of authors, a lot of survivors and stuff like that. I'm kind of taking a shift from music next week to kind of focus in on mental health, which is something I've been lacking lately, but same time music will come back the following week, but next week's all mental health, so come back Monday night 8:00 East, 5 p.m. West for another fucking edition of the show. But until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.